You did everything right. You built your body. You built your money. You built your mind. You became the man other men respect. So why does she look at you like you're failing? Why does she say, "You're smart, but you don't get me"? That's the trap. Because the same intelligence that made you powerful in the world is the exact thing quietly destroying your relationship, and you don't even see it happening. You think you're solving problems, but to her, you feel cold, distant, unreachable. And here's the part nobody tells you: being logical in a relationship can make you emotionally incompetent. You were taught to think, to analyze, to optimize, to win. That's IQ. And it works. In business, in strategy, in survival. But relationships don't run on logic. They run on something else: connection. And there are levels to this game most men never learn. You can read the room. That's awareness. But can you move the room? Can you shift her emotions without controlling her? Can you make her feel understood without fixing her? That's a different intelligence. And most men never train it. So when she comes to you emotional, you don't meet her. You evaluate her. You correct her. You explain why she's wrong. And in that moment, you lose her. Not because you're wrong, but because you chose logic over connection. Here's what's really happening inside your mind. When she's upset, your brain doesn't see emotion. It sees a problem, a threat, something to solve, something to neutralize. So you go into analysis mode. You detach, you calculate, you remove emotion to stay in control. But to her, that feels like abandonment. You say, "That doesn't make sense." She hears, "You don't matter." You say, "Calm down." She feels, "I'm alone." And the more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. Because now you're not just disconnected, you're invalidating her reality. This is the smart man's trap. You're trying to win the argument, while silently losing the relationship. It gets worse, because smart men don't just argue. They dominate. You use better words, better logic, better structure. You corner her, you dismantle her points, and for a moment, you win. But something shifts. She stops opening up, stops sharing, stops trying. And now the relationship becomes quiet, predictable, dead. Because you didn't just win the argument. You trained her that being vulnerable with you is unsafe. And that's the moment the relationship starts dying. Not with a fight, but with silence. Here's the shift. You don't control her emotions. You control your response. That's it. The moment you stop trying to change how she feels is the moment everything changes. Because now, you're not reacting. You're choosing. Instead of correcting her, you understand her. Instead of fixing, you hold. Instead of explaining, you listen. And suddenly, she leans in again. Not because you solved her problem, but because you finally saw her. Relationships aren't built in big moments. They're built in small ones. The ones you ignore. She shows you something on her phone. You barely look. She makes a comment. You dismiss it. She reaches out. And you miss it. These are called connection moments. And every time you ignore one, you withdraw from the relationship. But every time you engage, you deposit trust. And here's the truth. The men who keep their relationships respond to these moments almost all the time. The ones who lose them ignore most of them. So the question isn't, do you love her? The question is, do you show up in the small moments, or only when it's too late? Here's how you fix it. Not with more intelligence, but with better direction. Stop trying to be right. Start trying to understand. Stop using complex words. Say simple truth. I get why that hurt you. I didn't see it before, but I do now. Stop correcting her experience. Start respecting it. And most importantly, when she reaches for you, don't turn away. Don't delay. Turn toward her. That's the move. That's the skill. That's what separates the man who keeps his relationship from the man who loses it and never knows why. Being smart isn't enough anymore. The world already has logical men. What it lacks are men who can understand, men who can hold pressure without shutting down, men who can lead without controlling. Because the future doesn't belong to the smartest man in the room. It belongs to the one who can connect. If this hit you, you already know where you've been getting it wrong. Don't ignore it. Fix it. Drop a comment. What's one moment you missed that you see clearly now? Like the video if you felt this. Share it with a man who needs to hear it. And subscribe to Void Response. Because here, we don't just make men smarter, we make them dangerous where it actually matters. To learn more on how to be the man in a relationship, watch our other videos.